So we looked at inverse functions last time. And what an inverse function does, remember, a trig function takes an angle and outputs some ratio. So an inverse function takes in some ratio and outputs an angle. And it's important to know when we use these inverse functions to solve equations, what kinds of angles they output. So the arc sine of x, often written as the sine inverse of x, has a range from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. Oops. Including the endpoints. The arctangent is similar, also known as the tangent inverse, but it does not include endpoints because of asymptotes. And then the arc cosine, also called the cosine inverse, has a very different range. Its range is from 0 to pi, including the endpoints. And sometimes we'll think about these in terms of playing with triangles. Sometimes we'll think about these with respect to the unit circle. So on a unit circle, remember, we always start measuring the standard angle from the positive x-axis, and we move around in a positive direction, which is counterclockwise. Negative direction, oops, is clockwise. So the arctangent and arcsine, they act on this part of the unit circle. So from 0 to pi over 2, from 0 to negative pi over 2, or overall negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. So it's that right semicircle is where the arcsine and arctangent have their output angles. The arc cosine, that goes from 0 to pi. So its output angles go from 0 all the way over to pi. So if we ever need an angle that's outside of either of these ranges, then we have to use some circle symmetry to figure out what angles those are. And we'll get to that a little later today. So that's the summary of those. Let's use them.